Okay, what's really in the Bible about how to handle our money? That's what this program is called. Is that really in the Bible? Well, let's take a look at what's really in the Bible about handling our money. Does the Bible say give it to some television evangelist who's sowing seed, give him a $1,000 seed donation? You know, put your seed donation on the temple of God. Is that what the Bible says? What does the Bible say about how God blesses us and how, as far as money is concerned? What does the Bible say? All right, Malachi 3 and verse 8 says this. It says, will a man rob God? Yet you have robbed me. But you say, well, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings. Now listen, folks, if your life is not blessed, maybe you ought to take the instructions that come from the Bible. God says, you've robbed me. And we ask how, and he says, in tithes and offering. Well, what is a tithe? Is a tithe a $1,000 seed donation? No. A tithe is 10% of your income. If you want to know, okay, how does God work? What does God expect from us when it comes to money? What he expects is 10% of your income. Now listen, if you don't make anything, you don't owe anything. That's what's really cool about the tithe. 10% of nothing is nothing. So 10% of $100 is $10. 10% of 1,000 is $100. So it all depends on what you make. So now this is what the Bible says to do concerning your money. You are to give 10% of your income. Now, maybe you say, well, I'm not a religious person. Well, let me tell you something. There's a lot of non-religious people who have learned the blessings of tithing. I've heard about them. They just learned that even though they don't tithe to a church, they tithe to charitable organizations, you know, hospitals, a lot of the good works that are out there that help children. You know, they tithe, give 10% of their income to charitable organizations. And they talk about the blessing that produces in their lives. That is the blessing of giving, the blessing of tithing, 10% of their income. These are non-religious people who have said this. So I just want to bring that point up, you know. Malachi 3 and verse 9 says, you are cursed with a curse, for you have robbed me, even this whole nation. Now again, you know, do you feel like you're under a curse? Well, if you do, God says, you know, this is what God says. He says, look, you're cursed with a curse because you've robbed me. How have you robbed me? In tithes, not by not tithing, 10% of your income. So, you know, if you feel like you're under a curse, then there's something you can do about it. But you got to do it God's way. It doesn't say give money to some parasite using God's name to talk you out of your money. It doesn't say to do that. It says 10% of your income. Now, okay, so if you're a non-religious person, you can tithe, to charitable organizations. Now, how about if you're a religious person? Well, you can tithe to your church. And, you know, I mean, of course, people come up with excuses like that. Well, I can't find the right church. Well, you're never going to find the right church. You're never going to find the perfect church. The moment you walk through the door, it ceases to be a perfect church because you're in it. So quit using that excuse, so I can't find the perfect church, whatever. There are no perfect churches. Well, anyway.
Is that really in the Bible? What you think is in the Bible is not.